Yeah, you could hear dope ass beats and like get hella inspired. Like you said, like when you're in the studio and LA and shit, I'm sure you hear it. You know, the competition inspires you to be doper and shit. It was that
You know,
type of vibe.
so I had to go through like a transition as a producer because bro, coming up in LA, you had the Sieges, you had like these dudes who had these crazy drums, bro. Like, so when I first started, it was all about the drums. Like, so that's why, like, when you like, even when Hit Boy first started, bro, like his drums used to be crazy because he came up under Polo the Don, you know what I'm saying? So, like, um, that's what I knew. Our big drums, crazy overproduced beats, crazy beat transitions, break, right? So when I started working for Felly, it was like a culture shock to me because like my job was to work for him and to pretty much like just help him. And like bro was selling beats with 5 tracks in them for $50,000, $25,000. You know what I'm saying? So like I didn't understand how I'm over here chasing placements for all these years and sending all these dynamic ass siege monstrosity level beats and like people skipping over them. And then I go work with him and we literally selling boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom, pop, boom, top, boom, boom, and motherfuckers is buying them Atlantic 25,000, 125,000. So I'm just like, okay. So then this one thing he told me because my job is to kind of like work for him. He's like, D, don't nobody care about all that extra shit, bro. Like a beat, people just want to move, they want to dance. So like, bro, all you need is a kick and a clap or a snare, and that's it. And and like I had to dumb down all of that big time production stuff so that we can go on records. You know what I'm saying? And like I fought against it for a long time, but you realize that like there's so many different ways to approach music, and so I kind of had to like really like narrow it down. And then there were times where I told this story a few times, but somebody it might be new to somebody, but like there will be once I kind of like develop his trust and I was engineering, I was fully producing in there and stuff. We started having like artists pull up. We started having like Stacey Barth and like all kind of NBA players and females and stuff would come through and we would press play. Clinton Sparks used to come to the studio and stuff all the time. And he would allow me to pick what beats that I would play in a session. So like, yo, put 10 beats on there and play him for this. So I got a chance to pick whatever beats of his and whatever beats of mine that I wanted to press play because he trusted me like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would mix my beats in with his, like, and you know, kind of just rant shuffle them or whatever. And they would skip over all my beats and they would just pick all his. And so that's when I realized, like, no, it's just a fluke, but like they don't know whose beats are his and which ones are mine. But like I would make his like the first two, I would be track number 3, he would be 4 or 5, I'd be track number 6 and number 7, and then he'd be 8, 9, and 10 or something. And they would every time just skip over all my beats. And so that's when I realized that I was overproducing. And then that's when I realized that it was time for me to go down. And so pause. So like I understand as a producer, there's the like go on record, there's a go on go on record production, and then there's the producer, the soul, like, you know, get the respect from your peers type of production. It's two totally different beats, you know what I'm saying? And you realize that those over here in there, they're not going on the records. The labels is not buying those. And then these, so like when I was with him, it was like, okay, well, how can we turn this 5-track beat into maybe 11 tracks? You know what I'm saying? We got to put like a chord progression or something, or at least a bridge or something. So that's when I kind of came in because I was taking those basic tracks and kind of like filling them in with a little more life or soul, a little more harmony, a little more chords, you know what I'm saying? Maybe an extra clap on top of the other clap or something like that. So I was able to kind of tie in a little bit of my production, but it was really me dumbing down this big, aggressive, like hardcore producer that wanted to get this like street respect so that we can go and get placements, you know what I'm saying? Because he wanted to be like, you know, the West Coast version of DJ Khaled. So just like going through both of those like experiences, it kind of really kind of toned me into a producer where like all I care about is if me and you are sitting in front of J. Cole, who's going on the album? That's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about playing the hardest beats or the crazy drum break. Like if me and you sitting in front of Saweetie, who's going on the album? Me. You know what I'm saying? That's who Dame is as a producer. That's where my area of competition is. You know what I'm saying? But I came up in the producer battles. I came up in all of that, and I realized that it was time for me to make that adjustment. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that with y'all. You feel me?
That's big game that he's sharing too, because like even though I haven't worked with like any major artists, the artists that I have worked with, when I played like some of the beats that I thought back in the day that were super technical with drum fills and like all this other shit in there was like the shit they were gonna pick that was like the dopest shit. They were always like, nah, man, there's too much in the way of that shit. Like, and that's how you know you overproduced it for the artist when you brought that shit to them, because they would always pick some shit that was, I felt, almost even
Bro,
underproduced.
it's always the shit
Yeah.
that you like the least is the shit that people use the most. And the shit that you love, nobody fucks with. It's always been that way, bro. Always, bro.
And so I started trying to dumb that shit down. Like you talked about intention, like in making music, the shit that I found was I was getting burnt out. Like, you know how like people will say, oh, you should just make like 50 beats a day and like go hard, which is cool. Like, I'm not knocking anybody that does that shit. Like, I respect anybody that goes hard for their craft. But what I'm gonna say is that shit got played out for me. I had like zip disk full of fucking beats, like on the 2000 XL and the ASR 10, and like, I was just like, oh, there's just a whole bunch of fucking beats that I spent all this time making and shit. Like, I didn't do nothing with them. Like, I progressed and leveled up throughout that time for sure. But there's a point that you get like kind of burnt out. And like, I didn't want to lose love with the music and shit. And so I had to figure out ways to like intentionally start producing. The way you describe that is crazy because I never really heard that.
And the cold part is, I would say like the dope thing that I love about me as a producer is my range, because like I love Drake as much as I love Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Metro Boomin as much as I love RZA, you know, like, and I just feel like as a producer, I want to produce on all those levels equally. You know what I'm saying? At least for me. And that's just because of all the opportunities that I missed because I didn't have beats like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just kind of like submitting the placements and stuff, bro. And I, you know, say when I was just doing samples and stuff, and then like somebody invites you to the studio and they want you to play keys. I'm like, damn, I don't play keys like that. So then like, all right, I'm about to play keys like Brian Michael Cox. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just always chasing. Like, so for me, bro, like I hear stuff and like I want to go towards it. Like I've shared this before too. So like when she got a song called Exhausted produced by Rodney Jerkins, right? It's literally no drums. It's literally just chords and a bass line glide.
That's fire. I want to hear that shit.
So bro, you gotta listen to it. It's called Exhausted. Bro, I was like, how he got that 808? Bro, I went and bought a Moog Subsequent 37 bro, I have a Moog Subsequent 37. Come on, bro. I literally have I use one sound in it. The sub bass is the only sound I use in there, Dave. That's it. And literally I figured out how to get that fucking 808 glide that Rodney Jerkins did for her, and I have not touched the settings. Like literally, that's the only thing I use it for is that fucking 808 glide, bro. Like everybody hit the like button. Everybody stop, hit the like button real quick. Put y'all questions in the chat. Hit the like button.